Welcome back to another edition of the Pagcast. I'm your host, Michael Pagani, joined alongside fifth-round draft pick of the Minnesota Wild in the 2017 NHL Draft, Jacob Golden. Jacob, welcome to the Pagcast. Thank you again for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
You know, a lot of people during this quarantine have turned towards Netflix, and, the golf courses are starting to reopen. What have you been doing during quarantine?
Yeah, I've been trying to work out as much as I can. Got a decent gym at home, trying to stay in shape, but also been hitting the links a bit. I'd say 4 or 5 times a week. Get some good battles with my brother going, and so it's been okay. Been doing all right. How about you?
Just working on this podcast, really. July has been a very busy month. June, July, because with the summer, a lot has opened up for me with school ending. So I decided to take on the toughest challenge, which is doing 2 interviews a day. I just did another one, I think about an hour earlier with Jake Boltman. Jake Boltman is the 113th ranked prospect for this year's 2020 NHL entry draft. It was a great interview. The guy's a great kid. So other than that, just kind of been chilling, trying to find some other stuff to do, because with things kind of closed down, we were basically stuck at home and, trying to find things to do.
Yeah, you got to kind of entertain yourself any way you can. You try to get off the couch and stay active or pursue things you love, like you're doing with your podcast. All health things to do. So looks like you're doing well, and it's good to see.
Thank you. With quarantine, a lot of sports have stopped, but recently sports have resumed. Have you watched any sports that have resumed?
I watched Bryson DeChambeau, win that tournament the other week, and just seeing him, what he can do, and all the work guys like that put in, and the transformation he's had in his body the last year, it's pretty unbelievable. And I'm looking forward to the NHL coming back. Parking my butt on the couch for 6 hours a day watching games is going to be the worst thing ever too. So excited.
Getting into your story a bit here, who influenced you to start hockey?
Well, I say, just being a Canadian kid from Toronto, a lot of parents would put their kids, in skating lessons and then hockey. And actually, the first time I went on the ice, I absolutely hated it, and wanted to never touch skates or the ice again. But my parents pushed me to go to the rink a few more times, and then you fall in love with it. It's a pretty special feeling, skating. There's not much like it, and I've been lucky because made some really good relationships and been able to pursue a lot of cool things with hockey. And
Growing up, was there a certain role model that you wanted to model your game after?
I'd say the first defenseman I started watching, being a defense, was probably Morgan Riley. Like, you get a little older, you start picking up a little more things when you're watching games and stuff, picking up on guys' tendencies. And when he was drafted to the Leafs, I was a big Leafs fan growing up, so watching him play, trying to copy some of the things he did on the ice. And I'd say he's the first guy that I really took to and really try to focus and play like.
Would you be able to speak upon your road to where you are today, like some of the challenges you've had, some of the challenges you faced, successes you've had?
Yeah, growing up through minor hockey, it's you never really look at too far down the road. You just try to take it, just think about the next day, what comes next. And growing up, my goal was always playing the NCAA, and I committed there when I was in grade 10. Committed to an NCAA school, and then got drafted by London. And after talking with them for a bit, decided I wanted to pursue my goal, and the OHL was a really good place to do that. So went there for a bit, and was drafted to Minnesota, which was a pretty big honor and cool experience going to camp with them and stuff. And then moved to Erie for my last year and a bit in the OHL, and also great town, great team, great franchise. They've had a lot of success over the last few years, and a couple down years the last couple, but they're building towards being back to the championship, like being a championship contender. And it was cool to be a part of that. And now heading to McGill to play youth sports in the fall. So it's you look back, it seems like it went by pretty fast, and but all good memories. Can't say a bad thing about the OHL. Really, like it gives you a great place to pursue your goals. Gives you a pro schedule, and just good experience and no regrets. Really.
You played minor hockey in the GTHL. That's one of the major minor hockey leagues. Did you feel the pressure from any of the eyes that were looking on you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in minor major, that's when scouts really start coming out and watching you play. And, there were so many good players now that, I remember playing against that are, in the NHL or AHL right now from the GTHL. And it's really, I don't think there's a league out there like that for minor hockey just because, how concentrated all the talent is and those 12 teams or whatever it is. But real opportunity to play there and hone your skills against, the best talent you're going to face as a minor hockey player. So, and also like really good buddies I made from minor hockey. Some of my best friends still today have been made through that league and coming up there. So just another great experience there.
What are some of your fondest memories growing up as a hockey player?
I don't know. There's so many, but I think one of the years I look back on fondly was my time at Upper Canada College and playing prep hockey there. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a prep school kind of like they have in the States, and they play in this league called the CISAA. And going to class and playing hockey with your buddies every day, you're around them all the time. It was a pretty special experience, and say we had a couple tournament wins and a couple good times with the boys. So that was definitely one of a year I look back on fondly and one of my favorite memories.
Growing up in Toronto, like you mentioned, you studied Morgan Riley as a role model. Did you cheer for the Leafs? You mentioned that, right?
Yeah, big Leafs fan growing up. My dad's actually from Montreal, so he was always a Canadiens fan. But I see you got the hat on now, so
yeah,
probably like you. But I've always been a big Leafs fan, and coming from Toronto, it's hard not to be. But yeah, I always enjoyed watching them play and seeing where that team's going right now with all the young talent. And it'll be good to see them bring a real playoff push to the city in this little format here that they got going on. But I'm sure they'll continue to build on this success in the future and have some promising years down the road.
Hope and heartbreak, Jacob. Hope and heartbreak. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going up against Columbus, in this year's 2014 playoff. How does that excite you?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I actually got a buddy I played with in London, Liam Foodie. So he's with Columbus right now. So I'm hoping he gets in a couple games, be able to watch him against the Leafs. But no, it should be a good series, and hopefully the Leafs can pull it out.
The Leafs haven't had the greatest success in the playoffs recently, two against Boston and one against Washington. Like I mentioned, hope and heartbreak as a Leaf fan. How disappointing is it knowing that the Leafs are in the playoffs and now, they're in a best of 5, but it seems like they might lose,
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's always a chance that the team might lose, but, just try to enjoy it. And hopefully everyone was, working on staying in shape over quarantine and they're ready, just hit the ground running. And, anytime the Leafs play hockey, whether they win or lose, I like watching them, but it would be nice to see some, steps taken upon what they've accomplished in the past, getting past the first round stuff. So, I mean, hoping for the best, right? Fingers crossed.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of sports are starting up. We got NHL on August 1st. The MLB is coming up in around 10 days. The NBA is coming at the end of July. How exciting is, July going to be for you as a sports fan?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an exciting time for every sports fan. And I think everyone's hoping that, the bubble, that idea runs smoothly without any hiccups and, there doesn't have to be any stops or anything because an outbreak, but it's an exciting time to be a sports fan. And I think everyone's just antsy to, sit on their couch and watch sports again with their buddies. So it'll be a good time.
Another point with sports is the NHL are now back in the Olympics for the first time since 2014. How exciting is that for you?
Is that true that they
yes,
they're
I
confirmed
believe
back?
because per the IIHF Instagram page, they posted a photo of welcoming back the NHL. So to me, it seems like it is confirmed that the NHL is going back to the Olympics. which is very exciting, because we have all these young talent in the NHL now, which adds to, the hypeness of what the next Olympics could be.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you watch an Olympics, you want to watch the best of the best, right? And having the NHL guys there definitely accomplishes that. So I think draw just some more hype to the game, and definitely will be a good thing for the Olympics.
You were drafted in the 15th round of the 2015 OHL draft to the London Knights. Being a low draft pick means that you kind of have to face adversity right from the start. How did you make sure to thrive under that adversity?
Yeah, so I talked to a lot of teams before the draft, and I was committed to school, so that I think had a part in me dropping a little. But still, at the same time, being a lower draft pick, you want to work hard and show everyone, that you belong there. And to anyone else, in the OHL draft that is selected and late or not selected at all, at the end of the day, it really doesn't mean anything because you have so many more years of hockey left, starting from that age of 15 to 18, 20. That development's really big. So I mean, you have a lot of opportunity to prove yourself and work on your game, and hopefully just gives everyone some more motivation if you're not one of those guys that's selected near the top of the draft.
London is such a prestigious franchise. They have groomed guys like Patrick Kane, Matthew Tkachuk, and Max Domi. What does it mean for you to be, or what did it mean for you to be a part of that organization?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I think my first training camp with them, we play inter-squad games. And I think in the first period, Matthew Tkachuk put the puck through my legs and went right around me out of the corner to go to the net. So, definitely coming out of minor midget, you kind of wake up and it's like, wow, this is it's a little faster, a little more intense than what you're used to. But learning from the guys there, and a lot of great people there, a lot of great players, and they obviously know how to make successful hockey players there, and it's a really pro environment, and it was a great learning experience there, and just developing all aspects of my game, and the city of London, a lot of fans there, really supportive, and it was just a good opportunity to play there for sure.
Was that your welcome to the OHL moment when Matthew Tkachuk just absolutely dangled you?
Yeah, I think so. That was the year before I signed with the team. So I was just that was the year that they went on to win the Memorial Cup. But I think it just gave me some more motivation that year. Just I got a little growing to do in my game.
Yeah, I bet.
At that level. Yeah.
If you were to go back in time and tell a rookie Jacob about the OHL, what would you say?
I just say when you come into the league, obviously as a young guy, you just kind of want to be soaking everything in and learning from the older guys, but at the same time, you want to establish yourself as you want to establish your game in yourself, and you want to be yourself. You don't want to follow others. So I'd say just all the young guys coming into the league, be yourself. Be smart, listen to the older guys, but if you see something or feel that something's doesn't fit for you, take it upon yourself to talk to some other guys, and don't just be a follower. Even from a young age, you can still be a leader in your own way, and just I think that's probably the advice I give to young guys.
Was there a veteran in specific that really helped you develop your game?
I mean, playing in London that first year, there were guys like Oli Levy, Victor Mete, Brandon Crawley, Mitch Van de Sample, and Evan Bouchard on the back end of on that team, and all really good players. And just watching them, and also my billet brother, who I lived with, Chris Martinet. I think he's in the Dallas organization right now, and this real good guy. Pretty much all the vets were real helpful to the rookies, real welcoming, and I think as a rookie, that's how you want to be treated, and you return that favor to the rookies when you're a vet. Trying to be a good guy and help them along the way in the process.
Do you ever keep in contact with your former teammates? Because Bouchard's in Edmonton, Mete's in Montreal. You mentioned that your former teammates now in Dallas. Do you still connect with them?
Yeah, mostly talk to the guys that were my age, the 99s, and the other guys that came in with me, the 2000s, and still talk to them a lot. Try to get to see them when they come to Toronto, or we're close to each other, and a lot of them are doing some pretty cool things right now and have some opportunities to I think some of them are joining the NHL teams this for this playoff run, and hopefully, for them they get in a few games. But just talking to them, they're real excited about their experiences, and but just always it was just great to build those connections with guys like that, and see where they are now, and still be able to text them, snap them, and have a good chat like old times. So it's been good.
During your rookie campaign, you had 2 points in 38 games with the London Knights. How did you make sure to develop your game to where it is now?
Yeah, so I mean, that first year we were so stacked on the back end. Like I wouldn't play a lot. I'd play a couple shifts a period, and it's hard, especially as a young guy. Coming in. You're used to getting you're used to being the guy on your team. Playing every other shift and playing so much, and then it's hard to, I guess, change your game to fit that role a little as a rookie, because you're used to getting in the rhythm of the game, going all the time. So it was hard to put up points that year, but I just think learning from all those older guys, like I said, really helped me in the long run, and develop my game offensively and defensively, just taking little pointers from them. And so I'd say that year was more of a development year, and learning and practicing with all those good players. I mean, we had so many good forwards as well, so going up against them in practice every day was definitely something that made you better. So I think I just try to take those experiences and build on them the rest of my OHL career, and just continuing to improve on my game.
You were fortunate enough to get drafted by the Minnesota Wild in the 5th round, like I said at the top of this interview, of the 2017 NHL draft. How cool was that moment for you?
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a big honor getting drafted there. I was actually sitting in my house watching the draft, watching where some of my buddies go and stuff, and I just saw my name on the TV, and I had to double take, and I was the only one home, so I had to, I called my parents. I'm like, "Did you hear?" And it was definitely an interesting draft experience. But then being able to go to development camp and main camp with them, and skating with all the pros there and all the great players over in Minnesota was definitely an experience. I'll remember for my life, and it's a really cool experience all in all.
How much did you train for that moment?
For the camps, or?
Yeah, for the camps, for you to get drafted, how many hours did you put in?
Yeah. I mean, I was always fortunate that my parents would make a lot of sacrifices to help me get the training I needed on and off the ice. So that definitely contributed to thousands of hours I put it on the rink to get to that point. And then you work out hard for the camps, and something you see there though at that level is no matter how good a shape you're in, when you're doing those VO2 max tests or those bike tests, there's always someone or some guys that are in better shape or in just as good shape as you, and the talent at that level, it's all really high. So it was definitely a great experience to compare myself to some of the guys, and see what you have to get better at and develop. And it was just a really good learning experience to see what you need to do to try to make the next level.
When did the moment all sink in? Was it at the main camp, or was it during the combine?
Yeah, so I mean, there's development camp in July, and then I think it's real cool putting on even the practice jersey for the first time and skating at that rink, the XL Energy Center. So that was a real cool experience, and you want to put on like an NHL jersey as a kid. Even a practice jersey is pretty cool. And then at the rookie tournament, wearing the real jersey was pretty cool. And then in one of the main camps, in another inter-squad game, got a backdoor feed to tap in from Koivu. So that was pretty cool.
And Koivu is one of the longtime Minnesota Wild players, which is definitely very honorable for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly near the end of a game, and I just went backdoor. He made an unreal pass, through two guys, saucer pass, and I just had to tap in. But that was a real cool moment for me, and that was definitely a moment I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Was his skill at all mind blowing for you? Because obviously making
Um,
a backdoor tap in through a saucer pass through two defenders is obviously skillful.
Yeah, you know what I'd say is all the good players, like top-notch players on that team at the time, Parise, Zucker, Koivu, just the things they can do in small areas and the little plays they make, just so much faster, and they're just so smart that, you got to be on top of your game, playing the angles perfectly, and they just think the game at another level, which I think is why they've had such a great long career and how they keep continuing to build on their success.
You ended up with London again in the OHL. You didn't get your first goal until your second year with the Knights. Take me through that story.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to get that first goal, and I think I had a bunch of opportunities where I miss a tap in or just wouldn't capitalize on something. But it was in it was in London playing against Barrie. Sergei Popov, who had a really good year. He's playing with Owen Sound now. Just was 4-on-4. Someone want to face off to him, and I was the left defenseman. It was on the right circle, so I drove back door, and he just kind of hit me with a pass, which was able to tap in. So it was a really cool moment for me, and I was happy to score a few more over the rest of my OHL career.
Do you still have that puck with you today?
Yeah, so I think most teams do it in London. They give you a plaque that says for OHL goal against Barrie with the puck on it. So it's in my room.
It's always nice to cherish those good memories.
Yeah, I mean, scoring at the Budweiser Gardens in front of 8,000-9,000 fans, definitely a pretty cool experience that you dream of as a kid. So I'll always remember that goal.
You did make the playoffs, but you unfortunately got swept. Does the loss hurt more because you got swept?
I mean, it would have been nice. I think 2 of those games went to overtime in that series, and the other 2 were real close. So they were a little more experienced and older than us, and we just they just seemed to get the bounce, and we never really got the bounce we needed. But it was disappointing for the guys and the team as well, because obviously the team is really used to success. But they've been doing well and been able to build on those years. And London, they're always good, so they always have success, and they did really well this year. And too bad for them. The playoffs, like the season got cut, so I'm sure they would have had a good run this year as well. But I mean, even though we lost and it was a sweep, still good memories with the boys playing. That was my first playoffs I actually got in, because the year before that I didn't play. I was scratched,
Yeah.
and the atmosphere was really cool. Definitely more intense than the regular season, and it was just cool to be a part of, even though we would have liked to do a little better.
Because you guys did go up against Owen Sound, I believe, during that playoff run, and looking at the box score, you mentioned 2 overtimes, and the rest were actually all 1-goal games.
Yeah.
So would you say that the story of the series was just like a couple bad bounces?
Yeah, you could say that, and I think they were, like I said, they had a couple older guys. I think their team was a little older, and it just seemed like they knew how to win a little more at that point. And they had a lot of good players. Like, they had Suzuki on that team. I think Sean Dursey and a bunch of other guys. And we were a little younger, but, we put up a good fight, even though we would have liked to win some games. But that's still a pretty cool experience.
The next season, you got traded to the Erie Otters. Would you be able to take me through your last day as a London Knight?
Yeah, it was. I think it was the day before the trade deadline. I had a call from my agent, and talking with the team and about a possible trade, and went to Erie. And going from London, you don't know what to expect, because London's obviously this big city, and Erie's in the States, so I didn't know too much about it, other than that, from playing there and that stuff. But I was real fortunate. Great organization in Erie, great culture, great locker room, and even though they haven't had the success the last couple of years, I think there's a real good foundation in that organization to build on, and I think they'll head in the right direction the next few years.
Do you always circle the game on your calendar when you played the London Knights as an Erie Otter?
Yeah, I mean, playing back at the Bud Gardens the first time as an Erie Otter, I think we won that game in overtime, so that was pretty cool. Going back there and getting the win, but playing against the team and my buddies that I played for so long, was pretty cool. I think they took it easy on me, let me skate the puck a little, and I didn't. They didn't really hit me at all, so it wasn't too hard of a game for me. But it was nice to be back in the Gardens playing my old teammates.
Erie is another successful franchise, grooming NHL players like obviously Connor McDavid, Dylan Strome, and now top 5 pick Jamie Drysdale. How honorable is it to play for two successful franchises in London and Erie?
Yeah, really cool. I mean, I played with a couple first round picks in London, like Liam Foodie and Connor McMichael, and tons of others. Like tons of other, like Bouchard, Boquist, and then also playing with Dries this year. A lot like the other guys, real humble. You wouldn't be able to know how good he is from just talking to him. Great player, great guy, and just such a smooth skater, so smart with the puck, and I'm sure he'll have a great NHL career and he'll probably be in the league and like soon. So it was good to play with him, and hope everything works out with him in the draft, and because I think he should go pretty high. I mean, just watching him every day, just so good, such a smooth skater, and I think in this the NHL today, he's going to do really well.
What makes Jamie Drysdale so dynamic, from your opinion?
Yeah, I think if you watch him play, it just looks effortless. I mean, such a smooth skater. Really deceptive when he's skating. He can make guys miss just because you can't tell how fast he's going. Laterally or forward and backward, and it's also real smart. Knows when to pass, knows when to shoot, and can really break down a forecheck with by skating the puck out or making a smart pass. And underrated defender too. He's got a little bit of a mean streak to him, and I'm sure his defensive game will continue to grow in the next few years, and he'll be able to be a great defender at the NHL level just because his skating and stick are so good. So,
in your last year of OHL status, you put up 27 points in 48 games. What was your favorite part of your OHL career?
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to. I started the year off a little rough. Had some injuries, wasn't putting up the points I wanted to. And then I think in the second half, I had like 20 points in 26 or so in 27 games or something. And I think it was just but the most fun part of my career, it's putting up points and scoring goals is nice, but I think just some of the memories I made with the guys, through big wins, big comebacks on the ice, and just getting to form those bonds every day with the guys you're with. I think those relationships and memories, on and off the ice, are definitely what I'll take with me from the OHL. And it was a real privilege to play with the quality teammates that I did.
How shitty is it knowing that this is how your final season of OHL status will end?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little tough to swallow because we qualified for the playoffs this year in Erie. So I think it'd been a couple of years since the team had made the playoffs, and all the guys were looking forward to bringing playoff hockey back to Erie, and giving our fans a little bit of a reward for sticking with the boys. But for myself, you always want to go out on a high note, but it's definitely weird, thinking back on your last OHL game and not knowing it was your last OHL game. So I'm thankful for the time I did have, but at the same time, it'd have been nice to just close it out with the boys and have a good playoff run.
Like you mentioned, Erie did clinch the playoffs this year and would have funny enough played the London Knights. How disappointing is it for you to not play against London?
Yeah, I mean, I was texting my buddies from London, snapping them, and for the last couple weeks of the season, and we were thinking like, hey, like we're probably gonna play you if we make this the playoffs, and that would have been real fun, to play a series against them and try to steal a couple games. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but still a positive experience in my last year of the OHL, and don't regret anything. Really thankful for all the for all the time I've had in the league, and yeah.
How did you find out the season was getting canceled?
So I think the plan originally was to take a break for a couple weeks and then come back and do a little training camp like a week or something, and then get back in the playoffs. But I guess the virus, it grew larger and more widespread than anyone expected it to. So I think then they just sent out a notice that the season was being canceled, and it was tough to swallow. But like I said, real thankful for all my time in the league, and it's been a real privilege to play.
You're committed to McGill University to continue your hockey. What will you be studying there?
Yeah, so I'm doing arts with a major in econ. I think that's a bunch of my buddies who've gone to school have done, and looking forward to getting back to the books. And I have been taking a bunch of university courses throughout my time in the OHL, so hopefully the transition is going to be pretty smooth. But I also wanted to continue playing hockey, just because I love the game and been growing up on it. So I don't know what I'd do with my free time if I wasn't playing, but at the same time, get a degree, and if all goes well there, maybe get a sniff at pro, whether in Europe or in the minors after. But yeah, getting that degree is important because you want to be you need to have a backup plan.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you need a backup plan. You don't just want to throw all your eggs in one basket. And school has always been important to me, so I pretty prideful with that. I like doing well in school, and so just excited to get back to that as well.
Now, I'm not sure if, not to crush your dreams or anything, but, university, as we look in college football, we don't know if, that will even be continuing this year because of the coronavirus pandemic. If university hockey does continue, how weird will it be playing without fans?
Well, so our youth sports season, it's been canceled till at least January, so I don't know if there's going to be a season this year. I think the plan is just to practice and be working out and staying in shape. Yeah, obviously, it's real great to play in front of fans. They give you an energy boost. Even playing in front of away fans, it's nice to score and then hear the arena go silent. So it's going to be a different experience when the time comes. But I'm sure hopefully sooner rather than later we'll be able to get people back in the stands and have that experience again.
Was there a team in specific that was really hard to play against this year?
A team. Oh yeah. Let me see. Just because there've been so many, different teams and experiences throughout the year. I'd say this year, the team that gave us probably Saginaw for us in Erie. They had a lot of good players in Saginaw, and tough building to go into. But yeah, I think we always put up a good fight for the most part, and but yeah, they were a good team. I'd say they were one of the probably most challenging teams to play. They were fast, but they were also physical, and they had a real good combination of everything you need in a hockey team.
What are some qualities of your game that you like, and how do you keep your qualities consistent?
Some of the qualities of my game, I've always tried to, be a smart defender, being able to use my stick and my skating and my angle to keep guys to the outside, maintain good gaps, which is something I've really worked on. Being not a huge guy, you need to be smart to play defense and have a good stick and good feet. And then also with the offense, knowing when to pass and to shoot, and being a good defender that can break the puck out easy and get the transition game going. I've always tried to work on that through my career, and just build up on those parts of my game. And yeah.
What would you say is your go-to shootout move if you got the chance?
I'd actually say I was kind of disappointed I never got an opportunity to take a shootout in the OHL, but either the fake clap bomb 5-hole or just a little slip backhand 5-hole was my go-to in practice, and worked out pretty okay usually.
Who was your roomie on roadies this year?
In Erie, they did it so they switched it up every road trip, which is cool. You get to bond with some of some of the guys you don't normally talk to that, as much, that are a couple years younger, that are in high school most of the day. So they try to switch it up a little and, create that bond throughout the whole team. But I'd say my favorite roomie this year was probably it's my billet brother who I lived with for a bit, was Kurt Henry. Just real funny guy. We got along together and we were D partners. So built a good relationship with him, and it was cool to play with him and live with him, and that was a cool experience.
Last question here on the Pagcast with Jacob Golden. Jacob, do you have any, I know you touched on this earlier, but do you have any extra advice to offer for aspiring hockey players that may look up to you?
Yeah, I think coming up as a young hockey player, I just think you don't want to look too far ahead, and just focus on yourself and what you can control, because you're not always going to get the opportunities or looks you think you deserve, and it's on you just to keep working hard and persevering, because if you get good enough, you're gonna get a shot. And I just think enjoy the game. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a job, especially when you're younger. And I just really appreciate the times you have in the dressing room with all the boys and the opportunity to play the game you love, because it's not going to last forever, and you really do want to soak up all you can.
Well, I'd like to thank 2017 fifth-round draft pick of the Minnesota Wild, Erie Otters defenseman, London Knight defenseman, Jacob Golden, for joining me on today's podcast. Thank you again, Jacob.
Thanks a lot for having me on. Appreciate it.